guys, welcome to Roll Strong Fitness. This is your host Ezekiel, and the show that we're reviewing today is Poker Face on Peacock. Now, I'm not going to review the whole series. I've only seen episode 1. So first, let's start with the cast. We got Natasha Lyonne, Benjamin Bratt, Adrien Brody, the Sasha. Don't know how to pronounce her last name. Ron Perlman, Nick Nolte, Little Ray, Simon from Big Bang Theory, and Ellen from Animal Kingdom, to name a few. What else are we doing? That's the cast. Alright, let me go ahead and give you the overall plot. So you can read it here. If you can see this, you can read it here. But basically what I got from it for the very first episode was you have Natasha's character, Charlie, has a strange ability where she can basically tell that somebody's lying. She has to ask a question though to be able to tell. So she can't just look at them and boom, she knows they're lying based off of facial cues, like the show Lie to Me on Fox back in the day. No, she has to ask the question and she just knows. So it's kind of ability, but they really don't go into deep with that explanation. It's just, this is what it is. So the first episode begins, we go through her history, and her history is that she used to ride around the country beating people in poker. And this hotel owner watched her, heard about her, and then when she showed up at one of his games in this hotel, he reviewed, and figured out what, she was technically doing. She put a bad word, had her blacklist off of poker games, and then gave her an offer to work for the hotel. And there we are. A couple of years later, the son picks up. The son is played by Adrien Brody, and he takes over as the owner of management of the hotel. And then his right-hand man and enforcer is Benjamin Bratt. So where the mystery and the story begins, and actually the episode begins, is where this I'm gonna just call her DP right now, her name is Natalie on the show, she sees something, she records it, and she wasn't supposed to see it. We as the audience don't know. She goes to Adrien Brody and Benjamin Bratt. They decide to have her killed because what she saw, the person who she saw committing this crime is a high top tier client for the hotel. Okay, they have her killed. Charlie goes on to basically figure it out, and to not spoil the last episode, she kind of does, and then from there she's on the run. Okay, she's on the run, and while she's on the run, what I've gathered, and basically off of the synopsis, a mystery per week, she's going to be solving mysteries with random people that she meets as she's running away from the bad guys. Now, we don't see the father of the hotel, the person who actually gave her the offer. We hear his voice, but we never see him. And so far, that's where the story is leading. Now, let's talk about a quick review on the premise in the actual episode. So the episode was executed very nicely. I feel like, I'll talk about that later. I feel like the show, coming from Rian Johnson, if you don't know who Rian Johnson is, he is the guy who is responsible for directing and writing Knives Out 1 and Knives Out 2. Knives Out 2, Onion Glass, was just released on Netflix December 23rd. He is also the director and writer of Looper, starring Joseph Levitt. He is also the writer and director of, you may not like it, but Star Wars The Last Jedi. But that is him. Other than The Last Jedi, everything else he's written and directed, I like. He thinks outside the box, he does something different. I like it. And I think one of the things that was missing from Knives Out 2 was the quirkiness of Knives Out 1. So Knives Out 1 had a character who, throws up every time she lies. That was kind of an ability. In Poker Face, we had that sort of kind of ability, and I feel like Knives Out 2 could have been better if we had some type of ability like that, and he just kind of would have kept along with it, along with the Agatha Christie type of feel to it, but he did not. I rate Knives Out 1 10 out of 10. Knives Out 2 I give like a 7, and that's generous. I give it a 7 just because it you know, what's his name, Daniel Craig's detective character. So that's enough with the director and writer. The acting so far is phenomenal. I have no complaints over the acting. I love Natasha. I'm glad that she has something other than I think Dollface she has on Netflix. Other than that, I like her character. I like her voice. It fits her. I can see her play this role. I can see her, you know, killing and embodying this role. I'm fine with that. DP here, person that's playing Natalie. I wish she had more of a bigger role, but they might show flashbacks. They were doing that throughout the episode. They were showing flashbacks of their relationship, so I'm hoping we get to see more of her in flashbacks. But if there's a season 2, 9 out of 10, she won't be in season 2, and that's fine. The pacing and everything in the show was spot on. I have no complaints on the pacing. I have no complaints on any of that. I could tell there was a good production value. The special effects, there will be one scene with the special effects, wasn't that bad, it wasn't horrible. All in all, the show is pretty much so far a 9 out of 10. I have no complaints on everything. I think the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is just I'm just waiting till the end. And that's it. I'm a little bit pessimistic when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes from, you know, Rian Johnson after Last Jedi. So yeah, so 9 out of 10. All in all, very good show. I'm going to binge watch everything else, and that's it. So like, subscribe, share. If you like these quick reviews, let me know. Talk to you guys later.